it's quiz time.
My favorite time.
And mine. Here are the questions from last week. Let's see how you did. The first one was, why was central bank coordination important?
Well, it provided liquidity. We just talked about that. So the coordination of the central banks gave dollar liquidity to the ECB and to the European banks. That was great. And the fact that
a short relief.
A little short relief. But then it was good for the liquidity. It absolutely had to be done. But the good thing is they coordinated it together, so it really sent a little confidence through the markets.
6 central banks all in unison.
That's right. It gave confidence, and confidence is important. It's important they're all on board, sent a strong signal to the markets, and that's important.
Next question is, what do you think Europe will do?
Well, that's a good question. We've talked about it enough. I don't know what you thought Europe might do. I will give you credit for being pretty close to on the mark.
I said they'd kick the can down the road. They'd find a way to just finagle out of things.
Well, the way I call it is they weaseled out of it, but I don't want to cast aspersions. But yeah, so they did what they had to do and kick the can down the road. I thought we would get...
Until at least March.
You know what I really thought is when Monday's statement came out and they said that private investors would no longer take any haircuts, take any reductions in their bonds, and Merkel and Sarkozy came out and said that, I really thought they were opening the door for the ECB to come in and buy the bonds. That's what I thought they were going to do.
Not yet, not without treaty changes.
Well, and they can't have a treaty changes because David Cameron shot it in the foot.
Okay.
What's the next question?
Next question is, how misleading can a headline be?
It can be off by $7.7 trillion, which is what we talked about last week. And so can Jon Stewart. He can be off by $7.7 trillion. Actually, he's not that far off, but he's clearly not $7.7 trillion. So what's the rule here? Do your own homework. Don't believe the headlines.
And last of all, how do you stress test yourself?
Well, we're talking about math here, not talking about other things.
No EKG stress
No EKGs.
testing.
Thank you, Brenda. No EKGs. Run the numbers yourself in different scenarios. For example, what happened if you lost your job? You run a budget with your job and without your job, you'll feel stress.
Oh, yes, you will. Can you survive that stress?
That's right. That's right.
And what do you have for us this week?
Easy questions this week. First one is, what's wrong with putting a good spin on things? What's wrong with putting a good spin on things? Second question is, what happens when growth stops? Third question is really simple. What is reinvestment rate risk? And the fourth question, you'll have to stay tuned for this, is what went wrong in Europe? So stay tuned.